Am I the a-hole for paying $21K to send my kid to private school behind my ex-wife's back? Our son is 8 and has an incredible curiosity about the world. His first and second grade teachers gave nothing but glowing praise in regards to both his intellectual growth and his demeanor. However, his third grade year has not gone well. His teacher has sent us several emails stating that our son does not pay attention in class and is cold toward his classmates. When his mother and I asked him how school is going, he tells us he hates it. He said all the teacher does is yell at the class to stop talking, then the kids keep talking and we never do anything and I hate being there. I can see the light fading from his eyes every day and every Sunday night mid-September on he cries because he doesn't want to go to school. My son lives with his mother and spends weekends with me. We all live in the same town and I would describe the relationship between his mother and I as cooperative, but bad feelings persist. I asked my son a few weeks ago if he wanted to change schools and he responded God, yes. I asked his mother if she would have any issue with me sending him to a highly regarded private school about 17 miles from our town. She reacted in a way that was not expected. She said I was being ridiculous and that it would be an undue burden on her to take him to a different school, fair, and it would be unfair to her other children if only one of her kids got to go to private school. I added that I would take him and drop him off every day and pay for it 100% and she still said no. I told her I don't want our son to waste his potential, nor do I want to fail him as a father. In essence, she responded that our son is just being a brat because he's bored. I registered him at this school and paid the tuition. He starts in August. I told him what I had done and he was elated. Naturally, upon hearing this news his mother was apoplectic. All I said was fine, you tell him he isn't going because you think he's a brat. Am I the a-hole for kicking out my sister-in-law after she lost my son while babysitting? Over the past 3 months, my husband's sister has been staying with us until she got back on her feet. As part of her contribution to our household, she generously offered to babysit our kids, including our 3-year-old son with autism and with both delayed speech and language, without expecting any compensation. However, about 3 weeks ago while she was babysitting, our son managed to slip out of the front door without her awareness, wandering around for approximately half an hour before a concerned individual alerted the police. Rather than immediately notifying my husband and I about the situation, she spent an hour searching the neighborhood before involving law enforcement. We only became aware of our son's disappearance after she had already found out that the police had picked him up and safely returned him home. There's uncertainty regarding whether she would have informed us if the police had not explicitly instructed her to do so. In the aftermath I asked her to leave our home. My husband believes that my decision to kick her out was overly severe, labeling it as an honest mistake that could happen to anyone. He also emphasizes her lack of alternative living arrangements, arguing that it was unjust to leave her with nowhere else to go. She put my son's safety at risk and broke my trust and I can't get over that. But I can't shake what my husband said. Now I feel terrible about putting her on the street. Am I the a-hole for not visiting my sil and her new baby because I'm angry at her? I really need an unbiased opinion here, as I'm really angry at this situation and don't know if I am genuinely being unreasonable. I, F33, am a single mom to my daughter Ellie, F15. I've got a brother, M29, who's been married for a year, his wife being Hannah, F28. They've been together for a total of 3 years. A couple weeks ago, Hannah has given birth to their first child together. She's welcomed visitors but I have no intention on visiting her and their baby because I'm angry at her. I'm angry because a month ago, Hannah and my brother stayed at my place temporarily for a week. They were between rent leases and didn't have anywhere else to go in the meantime. I wasn't enthusiastic about them staying as my relationship with my brother has been complicated but I wanted to help them out. On the day they arrived and on the day they left, Hannah had screamed at my daughter and berated her for very petty things. The first was Ellie helped them bring their stuff into the house, and she left a pack of their soda bottles on the kitchen counter. They ended up being forgotten about until sort of dinner time and Hannah got all riled up because they weren't in the fridge and warm soda makes her feel sick. She did say sorry to Ellie afterwards but it didn't seem genuine and she just blamed it on her hormones. The second time happened when I was at work. Ellie had eaten some fruit roll-up snacks that were in the kitchen, which I do sometimes buy for her. These ones actually belonged to Hannah, which my daughter didn't realize, and she screamed at Ellie and made her cry, telling her she's useless and stupid. My brother tried to calm Hannah down and drove her to the store to buy some more of the snacks. Hannah never apologized for this and pretended as if nothing has happened. I confronted Hannah about this and she still hasn't apologized. She said that she's just heavily pregnant and on edge, and implied that my daughter has no manners and should have asked before eating the snacks. Ellie is in the clingy teenager phase so she's told me everything about how she feels about this. She doesn't want to visit Hannah and the new baby and quite frankly neither do I. I can't really look at Hannah quite the same. I'd never scream at someone else's child the way she did, even when I was pregnant and especially for such small things, and I'm struggling to understand why she'd overreact so much and be so mean-spirited towards my daughter. My brother has been asking why we haven't been over to visit and I explained to him it's because I'm upset at his wife's actions. He says I'm overreacting and babying my daughter. Our parents got themselves involved and told me I'm being a jerk and hurting everyone's feelings. Am I the a-hole for refusing to style my 12-year-old daughter's hair? Basically, I'm white and Native American. My daughter's dad is Puerto Rican and Native American. My hair is straight and blonde and my ex's hair is black, coarse and frizzy/puffy. My daughter has a mixture of both of our hair. When it's longer, it becomes more straight and super easy to style. When it's short, it's nearly impossible to even brush through, let alone style. I've always had long hair, but her dad and her grandmother think long hair is ugly. I mean, there was even a time back years ago where my ex's mom insisted on cutting off my dead ends and told me she wouldn't cut it short. It was down to my ass, and she literally chopped it right below my shoulders and said, "Oh, that's so much better," and got pissed at me for saying I hated it and would never let her touch my hair again. Needless to say, me and my ex broke up shortly after. For years my daughter would go to visits and come home with her hair chopped off. If I made any comments about it, I was met with a "she's my fucking kid too. You aren't the boss. What happens at my house is none of your business. You don't make the fucking rules." But 2 years ago my daughter started telling them she wanted to grow her hair out because she couldn't style her short hair without my help, and we were both getting pissed off and short-fused over having to wake up 1 to 2 hours earlier every morning just to brush through her hair and style it to a point where she didn't feel insecure at school. During that time they respected her wishes and didn't touch her hair. But a month ago her grandmother and dad started bitching about her hair again. I made a point to tell them not to touch her hair without her permission because I have a newborn at home now and can't take 1 to 2 hours every morning to style her hair anymore. Well, they convinced my daughter to chop off her hair this past weekend, and sure enough, my daughter is in my room at 5:30 a.m. asking me to help her with her hair, while I'm nursing my newborn. I told her no. I had just started feeding the baby. She immediately flipped out. She said my grandmother said you should be taking time to do my hair and that you have 2 kids, not 1. I texted the grandmother and asked WTF she said to my kid, and she said as a mom you need to prioritize both kids, not just the baby. Dear daughter's fucking hair. I didn't do my kid's hair. She is blaming me for feeling insecure at school now. Am I the a-hole for calling my girlfriend a B for lying about an emergency to test my commitment? My girlfriend, 29F, Andrea, and I, 29M, have been together for a few months now. Everything had gone smoothly until yesterday, when she pulled off a ridiculous stunt. She called me late at night to say that she's seriously injured/having panic attacks and that no one else is with her as her parents are out, which was true, they were out. She said that she's also got some chest pain and she thinks that she's dying, and that she's in a really bad state and can hardly breathe. She was heaving while she spoke. She begged me to help her, said that she's already called 911 but that she also wanted to let me know, and I was shocked. I took my car to rush towards her house, and it was only after reaching that I found out that she was joking about it. She met me joyfully and said that she only wanted to see how committed I am during an emergency, as that's an essential part of a relationship or something. I lost my temper and asked her what her problem was. She said that she was just testing me, and I got annoyed. I called her an effing B-word and told her that I did not deserve to be treated like trash and made use of like that. She was crying by saying that she only wanted to check whether I am a good fit and that I overreacted. I left the house immediately and haven't talked to her since. She's been texting me, but I just ignored her.